I still remember the exact moment my world shattered in that cold courtroom. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead like angry hornets, and every eye in the room was fixed on us. My own father stood there, pointing his finger at me with pure disgust in his eyes, and spat the words that broke something deep inside me. "She's just a grunt. What does she know? She's nobody." My heart stopped. The daughter he once carried on his shoulders, the little girl who looked up to him like he hung the stars, reduced to nothing in front of lawyers, the judge, and strangers. I felt my cheeks burn with shame and betrayal. How did we get here? How could the man who was supposed to protect me become the one who humiliated me the most? My name is Elena, and for most of my life I chased my father's approval like it was oxygen. He was a decorated Army veteran, tough as nails, old school through and through. He wanted a son who would follow in his footsteps, but he got me instead. Still, I tried. I enlisted right after high school, proud to wear the uniform, proud to serve. But no matter what I did, it was never enough for him. I thought the military would finally make him see me. Instead, it became the wall between us. He mocked my postings, rolled his eyes at my achievements, and constantly reminded me I was just a grunt. Low-ranking, replaceable, not real military in his eyes. Every phone call left me emotionally drained, questioning my worth. I smiled through the pain, swallowed my tears, and kept pushing forward in silence. But what I didn't know was that while he was looking down on me, I had been quietly rising. I had studied law at night, earned my degree, passed the bar, and worked my way into the Judge Advocate General's Corps, JAG. I wasn't just serving anymore. I was fighting for justice in uniform, advising commanders, handling serious cases. I had become one of the officers he used to respect. I kept it hidden. Not out of shame, but out of foolish hope that one day he would see me for who I really was, without me having to prove it. Until that day in court. The day everything changed. I wish I had seen the signs earlier. The missed birthdays, the cold silences, the way he only called when he needed something. But love makes you blind. And betrayal? It opens your eyes in the cruelest way possible. The courtroom battle wasn't even supposed to involve me directly at first. My father was locked in a nasty dispute over my late grandfather's estate. Money, property, and old family wounds that had been festering for years. He had cut me out emotionally long ago, but legally, I still had a stake. When the family lawyer suggested I attend the hearing, I agreed, hoping maybe this could be a bridge, a chance to finally connect. I walked into that courtroom wearing my dress uniform, heart pounding with nervous hope. My father barely glanced at me. When the opposing counsel asked about family dynamics, Dad stood up, face twisted with anger, and started listing every disappointment I had ever caused him. Then came the words that still echo in my nightmares. "She's just a grunt," he said, voice dripping with contempt. "Spent her life following orders, never leading. She doesn't belong here making decisions. She's not even real military." The room went silent. I felt my chest tighten, like someone had punched straight through my heart. Betrayed, exposed, destroyed. All the years of trying to make him proud flashed before my eyes. The deployments I never complained about. The promotions I celebrated alone. The late nights studying law while exhausted from duty. All of it meant nothing to him. I sat there frozen, tears stinging my eyes, fighting to keep my composure. Inside, I was breaking. "Why, Dad? Why am I never enough for you?" The judge looked uncomfortable. Even the bailiff shifted awkwardly. But my father? He doubled down, saying I had always been a disappointment, that I joined the military just to rebel against him. That was the moment reality hit me like a freight train. This wasn't just tough love. This was deep-rooted resentment. He had never seen me as his daughter, only as proof that life hadn't given him the legacy he wanted. The love I had clung to for years turned to ash in that moment. I was emotionally drained, shattered, and finally awake. I could have walked out. I could have cried in my car like I had done so many times before. But something shifted inside me. The quiet, hopeful girl who wanted her father's approval died right there in that wooden chair. And in her place rose the woman I had become in the shadows. The JAG officer who fought for truth and justice every single day. I took a slow breath, stood up, and looked my father directly in the eyes for the first time in years without fear. "Your Honor," I said, my voice steady but full of quiet power. "I believe there's been a misunderstanding." I reached into my folder and placed my official JAG credentials on the table. The courtroom murmured. My father's face went pale as he read the rank and position. I wasn't just any officer. I was Captain Elena Reyes, judge advocate, assigned to high-level cases involving military law and family estates connected to service members. The judge raised an eyebrow and asked me to clarify. So I did, calmly, clearly. With every word, I exposed the truth I had carried in silence. I explained how I had been quietly advising on aspects of this very case through proper channels because of the military pension and benefits involved. I wasn't there as a grunt. I was there as counsel with standing. My father's lawyer looked stunned. Dad sat down heavily, the arrogance draining from his face. For the first time in my life, he was speechless. The man who had humiliated me moments ago now looked small. The consequences of his words hit him hard as the judge adjusted the proceedings in light of my actual qualifications. I didn't yell. I didn't need to. The quiet reveal was more powerful than any shouting match. In that moment, the tables turned completely. The betrayal that had broken me became the fuel for my strength. I watched my father's world shift as he realized the daughter he dismissed had become the very thing he claimed to value most. A real officer. A real leader. After the hearing, he tried to approach me in the hallway, mumbling something that sounded like an apology, but I looked at him with calm eyes and said, "You taught me how to survive without your approval. Thank you for that." I walked away with my head high, heart still aching, but no longer chained to his opinion of me. That day taught me one of the hardest lessons of my life. Sometimes the people who are supposed to love us the most can hurt us the deepest. But their betrayal doesn't define our worth, our response does. I learned to stop waiting for validation from those who refuse to see me. I found my strength in self-respect, in the quiet grind, and in the truth I finally revealed. If you're watching this and carrying the weight of someone's disbelief in you, whether it's family, a partner, or anyone who keeps you small, remember this. Your value isn't determined in their courtroom. It's built in the silent battles only you know you fought. Keep rising. Keep proving it to yourself. Because one day, the truth will speak louder than their doubts ever could. And when that day comes, you'll finally be free.